It's day number 7 of 2015 BetVictor World Match Play with Charlie McCann, our tournament sponsor. How you doing, Charlie?
In good form, yeah. It's been a great tournament so far, and you just get the impression you'd be disappointed with the quality of the last 6 we've got in the tournament. That we're not going to see something special. It's still that 9 darter. We haven't had one. We had one last year, and it's the sort of thing you would imagine if you got a Taylor Van Gerwen final. It wouldn't surprise you if you got 2.
No, very much so, very much so.
But they've got to get there first.
They certainly have, and there's some tough players on in their way. James Way 2-9, Mensa Sulovic, of course, he conquered Gary 100-30. Anything at 2-9?
You would imagine he's going to be in the lumpy doubles. You would imagine with Phil or indeed with Dave. It's a game that I think if Sulovic is chasing, I think James will be in complete control of. I think he'll probably score heavier. It's just the way Mensa was playing. If he gets a sort of 6-4 lead, then the similar thing with Gary Anderson, he sort of almost let it get on, and he was taking sort of more time. He was thinking too much about sort of having too much time to think between throws. But if James sort of gets to, I think even 5-all would be okay. If Wade has to play catch up, I think that's what the psychology maybe comes in. There's no psychology. Mensa can take as long as he's like. If he's getting beat 8-2. But it's only an issue if, of course, I'm playing catch up. That's when it's almost the psychology of any sport. Things like that are going to get under your skin because you're not playing at your best.
Very much so. Now, if we move on, second quarterfinal, Taylor 2-7, Chizzy 11-4. The 2-7, is he 2-7? Would he be a little bit more value if it wasn't the World Match Play?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Dave has beaten him, Phil, twice, I think, out of the last 3 meetings between them. It's just that he's the king of the castle here. It's as simple as that. Whatever you think, that he's just so comfortable out up there. The interesting thing, of course, both of them are scoring well. Neither of them have yet taken their doubles has been questionable, to put it mildly. Let's get it right. Chizzy can beat anyone on this planet if he hits his doubles. It's probably more of an if with him than Phil. You think Phil may have that gear. Dave Chisholm is as good a player on his night, on his day. He probably should have won the Premier League. He hasn't done. He hasn't really won that sort of major, and he's playing the greatest player to have ever, and 2-7 Phil is because the king's in his countenance here.
Fantastic. Now, of course, if we look ahead to tomorrow, the semi-final, of course, we already know. A bit of needle. Peter Wright. Michael will not hold any fears for Peter, will he? I mean, I think he likes playing Michael.
Well, he beat him in Japan in the semi-final, which is in a top-class game as well. You would imagine. I mean, my bet of the weekend in the Dodge, whatever happens on Sunday, I would be very surprised if Peter Wright surrenders. Even Michael can catch fire. Peter will catch fire as well, and my bet would be the plus 5.5 legs and even money for. I mean, you could almost argue as well. He's 10-1 from 12-1 today for the outright. The 10-1, sorry, the 12-1 was an insult. That 4-1 in a match with anyone is an insult for Peter Wright. He's now that good a player. That 4-1 in a match. Remember, there's no draw like a football match. This is just a tennis. This is just, and I just think 4-1 is okay if Michael goes ahead and wins 16-11, but plus 5.5. Plus 5.5. You're not telling me I can't see Wright surrendering to anybody. He's too proud, and more importantly, he's too good a player now.
And I think he's a better player now than when he made the world final, a year and a half ago.
I'm absolutely convinced he is. Speaking to him last night, I think he's maturing all the time. Whether he's as good a player on the floor as other people, I'm not interested. I just know since he came here last weekend, he has had this sort of maturity. Listening to him last night straight after the game, no histrionics, no such and such, no. I know he had the histrionics when he sort of said that he didn't think Ian White, he and Van Gerwen don't get eye to eye, but there's not a bead of sweat on him. He was just focused on the next game, and I think he's confident without being arrogant. I think he really does think his time's come, and it's going to be one hell of a game of darts. That
certainly will be. You mentioned Peter Wright 10-1 outright. Michael was favourite 8-11, 5-2 the power. Wade 12 to 1, Chizzy 18 to 1. So he hasn't been clipped in a lot. He hasn't played well. Immense at 100 to 1. A couple of the housewives a pound on that one.
It would be, you know, immense, or it would be an extraordinary story, an absolutely extraordinary story. I think James will probably just have too much for him, but you know, good luck to me. You know, that was a tremendous performance by Mensur. It really was, to beat a world champion and to beat the Premier League holder as well. But no, I can't see past. I just, you know, we all think he's 2-1 on for a Taylor versus Michael van Gerwen final, and I've been saying all along that around about 7-2 when it started. I felt that would be it. Now, the closer you get, it's a strange thing. I'm not convinced now about that 1-6, 4-1. If I went round, once I got the odds yesterday, I went round talking to Wayne and people like that, and every one of them sort of said 1-4, 11-4. And then maybe a couple of them said, oh, you know, maybe 2-7, 5-2. Nobody had 1-6, 4-1. They all went,
4 to 1's it's big.
Pounds on 4. They all felt if somebody had to, you know, put their arm up the back, that would be it. And it's interesting, I think, that as a result, that 12s into 10s, and I think come post time that 4 to 1 will go. I think it will be 1-5. I think it will be 1-5, 7-2. I think that will be a come post time. I think 4 to 1 is too big.
Lovely. And one quick question: what would be your worst result come Sunday evening?
I think Michael is the biggest loser. Gary was actually anti-post, and good luck to our lads. We took him on completely. Gary Anderson, we were 6-1 when it was 4-1, 9-2. About there was, I think, 1-5-1. There was no 11-2, but Ben was insisting for some reason this didn't suit him. This venue, for whatever reason, Gary has never done particularly well, and that is now consistent. So Gary would have been on. We had to clip him eventually 6s into 5s after he won his first round 4s. Gary Anderson was our worst result. Phil, I think, is second. If Phil or Michael win the World Matchplay title, you're not going to win.
No.
But our biggest loser is out.
Yeah.
And let's get it right. We've got a few of these guys running for us. You know, we've got James running for us. We've got Chizzy running for us. We've got Peter Wright running for us as well. Peter was always been. It's a strange thing. As I say, since the week, not only is he the momentum being with him, you feel that his confidence is growing. You always felt in that room there, in the press room, that a few people who know the game, feel, no, this is his time. If it's ever going to be his time, this is his time. Because as you say, this is a player who reached the World Championship final 18 months ago, and it's almost universally acclaimed that he's a better player now.
Very much so.
But he's going to have to beat Michael van Gerwen in the Moody and the form he's in.
Very much. So, well, I tell you what, there you go. It's inside. The money for Gary Anderson's in the bag. Peter Wright 4 to 1. It may well go outright. I'm Paul Starr. That's Charlie McCann. That was Tonks and Tells. Thanks for joining us.